And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
one movement, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we do have a guest. Maggie Bishop is a community member and a substitute for our district, and she would like to join our meeting tonight.
Hi, Maggie. Number 2, approval amendment of meeting agenda item.
I move to approve the meeting agenda items for September 16th, 2020 as presented.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of August 12, 2020 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 4, good news. That one sounds good.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. The couple things. First of all, really great start to school. I want to take my hat off. If I have one on, I would take it off and say I was really proud of the staff, and the bus drivers were outstanding. Facilities, the principals did a great job organizing. I'm very pleased. Daycare went really well. We have 32 signed up. We got 20 this afternoon, so it's going. We got some work to do on that one, but Amy Anderson and her crew has done a great job with that, so very pleased. We have a mentor class starting on the 29th. I'll keep you all posted on that one. We have 7 classes, and we have a group of our teachers who are going to be as mentors and new teachers working there. So we're pretty excited about that. We have a couple joining us from other districts in our county, so that would be great to be a nice cooperation for everyone. Lighting project. If you haven't seen the high school, we're Quinn and his group is doing a great job. You don't realize how much it makes a difference, but the lights are there, so we got the grant and everything's going to save us some money in the month. But if you go to the high school, I have pictures. I will send it to you on Friday update, but if you want to see it, it's really great, and that's our first start, so we're excited about that. We have a custodial position we're going to be hiring for on Friday, interviewing, and then hopefully hire one, and that's going to be great to help us with the COVID, to help alleviate some of the stress that we have on our staff there, because extra cleaning. And the buses did really well. And Janet, I want to mention that Janet and her team did a great job, trying to organize 2 bus routes. You can imagine last minute, so really excited about that. And the principals did an outstanding job. And then community, there's some in there about the KCC. So even though it's community, we're still working with them to make sure that we, that we are going to try to get that program back. I know money is a tight one for everybody, but I think we are on a dialogue to ensure that we get the best thing for our kids and make sure that they represent our area, not just certain parts of the counties. And then finally, community engagement. We had some really good stuff, Chamber and Rotary and all that. I've been able to attend those meetings, and I've been attending a couple more of those, so I'm pretty excited that they're very supportive of our school district, and they want to help us out, and we'll keep you posted as we move forward with those partnerships. That's all I have, Madam Chairman. Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Annie, I think you might be muted.
There you go.
Thanks, Corey. I touched the button, but it didn't work. Number 5, public comment. Okay. 6, report. So you're up again, Mr. Carter.
I think I gave you everything I had. I had nothing but good news today. It's kind of exciting. The fires have been a challenge, and I did have a meeting with a lot of superintendents, and we have a meeting on Friday as well, how we get support. So we might get some of our kids do some cars and things like that. Sometimes those little things are important. And I do know we have some consolidated efforts about what kind of things we can get to support, our neighbors who are suffering. But right now, I did talk to the superintendent up at Paisley, and his home was there spared in the school, and they're using the school for firefighters. But the way that fire is set, the preface is it could go one way or the other. So we need thoughts and prayers on that one. But I'll keep you posted as we learn. So that's all I have.
I just wanted to add today that a mom that checked in with me, and she has a kinder, and the kid was ecstatic. Kids had a great time, despite spacing and masks and everything else that's new in the world. So it was great to hear. The kids enjoyed it. So there's 3 that she has in the district. So.
Yeah, and that I want to, kindergarten's been great. I want to tell you, I met me a new friend. She was new to the area, and she said she did not have friends because she's brand new. And I said, I'm new to the area, and I don't have friends either. So we have a new buddy, and I was able to get Skylar on the bus this afternoon. So I'm just telling you, it's exciting to see it. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. All right, number 2, building principal report.
I'm gonna kind of stand over here just a little bit so you guys can ask me questions if you need to. And then you can hear me a little better because we're kind of back over here.
You can sit here.
Mr. Stratton stepped out for just a minute, but I'll go ahead while he's doing that. I wanted to thank maintenance and the folks there that are working on the facilities. The grounds look good. We finished the sped room, library remodel, and got it all ready to go before school started. The painting kind of freshened everything up, and the grounds looked really nice. We had several new hires since the last time we were at a board meeting. I've hired Lucinda Carter as a 2nd grade teacher. She was a Henley graduate. Carrie Cossey grew up in this area. She was hired as a union cook and custodian. Carrie McCarty has been a sub para for us, and she was hired as a part-time sub paraprofessional at Union. Ashley Cooney was a Lakeview High School graduate, went to school at EOU, and is back with us as a 1st grade teacher. Alina Bradbury is a local person who we were very excited to hire as a special ed teacher for Union and Fremont. So we are all hired and pretty much fully staffed at this point. At the elementary school, we'll be doing professional development. We'll be doing training for Google Classrooms every Tuesday. We're all at different levels. Some people like me are pretty basic. We have some trainers that are pretty good at Google Classrooms, but we all need to get up to speed in the event that we go to distance learning. September 24th and August 1st, we have a new math curriculum we've adopted, and we'll be doing training for our teachers virtually for that. We did quite a bit of it in the spring while we had the time, but we want to do some follow-up now that they've had their chance to work on it and kind of get their feet wet. We have a phonics training for K1-2 for one of our consultants in Bend scheduled for October. We're trying to spend some money leftover from the House Bill 3499 grant. And then also with that will be a math consultant to do some observations and training in October or November, schedule dependent, to get that money spent for the House Bill 3499 grant. Everybody went through first aid and CPR that needed it during in-service week, so we're in pretty good shape there. Lots of times during the service week, we don't have a lot of time to get that stuff done, and we used our extra time that the board gave us to start school later. I felt like we got a lot of really great things accomplished. Prior to school starting, our K1-2 teachers in both Fremont and Union met with our parents and their students one-on-one. We couldn't think of anything more terrifying with COVID than having a kindergartner and bringing them to school, dropping them off with someone they didn't know, going to someplace they had never seen. So our staff had one-on-one appointments. They went in and looked at their classrooms, met their teacher, put their stuff away, kind of got a feel for what it would look like. They talked them through the process and where they stood in the mornings, all that kind of stuff. We didn't know that if we would quite have the capacity to run 3 through 6 through as well and still maintain all of our safety measures. So we chose to do parent nights for 3rd through 6th. Tomorrow night is our 6th grade parent night starting at 6 o'clock. We did, in preparation for today, we did 2 days of rehearsal, Fremont and Hay. We used the Hay folks to help Fremont. They played scenarios as kids. Some of them had masks, some of them were crying, some of them had temperatures, and we ran through dress rehearsals there, and then 1 day out at Union. In preparation for this, we revamped our arrival, our dismissal, our recesses, and our lunches. Our K1-2 students eat in sections in the cafeteria with plastic dividers between them. Our 3 through 6 students in town eat in their classrooms. And Union is small enough as a cohort, they can all stagger through their cafeteria pretty easily out there. We have some upcoming events for you guys just to take note of. Tomorrow night, the parent night, like I said. Westside Parents Club at 5:30 on September 21st. September 30th is our picture day. Your envelopes will be coming out next week. And then September 30th also is the second session of a new teacher orientation series that we're doing at the elementary school. As far as the first day of school, I think there were more questions than answers when we started through our in-service, but the rehearsals and between our rehearsals, the bus rehearsals, the custodians moving furniture out, everybody just really came together as a team, and I think it paid off, and our first day went fairly smooth at the elementary school. The little guys did great with their masks. Lots of teamwork was involved. I'm just really proud of how well this district came together district-wide to make this happen today, and the kids were really excited.
And we are the biggest district to come back in person in the entire state, so that's a tribute to all of you guys.
Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Thank you.
No, thanks.
Afternoon, high school, in-service week. I'd like to thank the board for letting us, I gotta put my glasses on, let us get as ready as possible. The staff was super ready for this week. We spent multiple days on Google Classroom training, COVID logistics, getting ready for the COVID scenarios, and then the comprehensive distance learning. We spent 2.5 days on different time frames getting ready for that comprehensive distance learning if we end up going that route. And we're crossing our finger, we're not, but we're ready if we have to. I'd like to give a huge shout out to the maintenance, custodial tech, and the office admin at the high school, middle school for a great start and all their hard work to get school ready today for the students. Besides face mask and lunchtime, it looked and felt like a normal day at Lakeview High School Daily Middle School, a total normal day. The 7th graders didn't know where their next class was. The 9th graders were happy because they got to eat off campus, and the seniors were grumpy. Typical normal day. Some quotes for today. How about you, Mr. Stratton? 4:30, wide awake and excited to see my kids. And another one, isn't it like Christmas morning? I mean, I think everybody was just really excited to be back at school today. Parent night. We held parent night. We had 3 parent nights at grade levels, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and had on average 30 to 40 parents there at the parent night. And we talked about what school would look like, and we did that in person along with the letter. We had Mr. Rose will talk about his Lakeview Academy parent night, and then also we did a parent night for our Latino families. And we had a good turnout that night also. Technology. We plan to go 1-to-1 with Chromebooks next week, grades 7 through 12. We're putting together a parent-student permission signature agreement so that they sign and say, I understand this is checked out to me and I'm responsible for it. We also will be sending home an option for them to sign up for insurance on those Chromebooks. It's going to run probably between $20 and $35, and a family can buy insurance in case the Chromebook's damaged, lost, or stolen. So we'll send that out to them optional. They do not have to purchase that insurance. Enrollment. As of today, there was 54 7th graders and 54 8th graders for 108 middle school students on campus. 58 9th graders, 45 10th graders, 46 11th graders, and 46 12th graders. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many that is. There's around 200 high schoolers on campus today. Long-term subs, we were able to land 2 great long-term subs. Thank you, Mr. Carter, for this. They jumped right in today, and they were doing things, helping people get stuff done. One sub spent all day helping Mr. Rose and Mrs. Farr with our Lakeview Academy kids with Google book checkout and making phone calls. And the other one did just a ton of odds and ends for us. They're actually going to put together a Google sheet so that teachers can see when they're available and sign up so they can come in and help them do some one-on small group work in classrooms if they need another teacher in the classroom. So I'm pretty excited with the 2 ladies we were able to land and what they'll be able to do for us. I think they'll be a huge asset to our team. And then new staff. Miss Linda Hopper is now teaching 8th and 10th grade history. She moved over from the 6th grade. Caitlin White is teaching 7th grade science, 7th and 8th grade health, and is our ASB leader. She came to us from Jordan Valley. Kelly Hall, we hired about 2 weeks ago. Super excited to have us here. She did not run out of the building today, so it was a win for all of us. She actually had a good day. She's teaching 7th and 9th grade language arts. David and Stephanie Castro are teaching math, geometry, and algebra 2. And there's an over and under bet to determine how many students think Stephanie's better or how many students think David's better. If you hit on the action, let me know. And then Carlos Soto, one of our biliteracy seal earners from 2 years ago, we hired him as an ELL para. Excited to have Carlos here. And then Nola Walker is our second cook in the cafeteria. We did seven breakfasts. I think 12 or 15 Lakeview Academy kids came and got meals today. And then we served like another 120 meals. Don't quote me on those numbers, but pretty dang close in the cafeteria today. We know that the breakfast numbers will come up, but the kids were too excited to see each other that they didn't go eat. But I'll watch the numbers the next couple days to make sure that we have enough staffing in the cafeteria, or if we need to make a change with the walk-ins and stuff like that. We'll just have to wait and see. I think that's it. Any questions?
Good job.
Thank you both. Let's see, we're moving on to Mr. Rose, Lakeview Academy.
Hi there. It was a great first day. I'd like also to speak to the on-site campus like Lane did. It was great to see the kiddos. And one thing I noticed was how big some of our middle schoolers have grown. I feel like I was looking at a couple of the students more in the eye than we were 6 months ago. It's been 6 months since we've had them on campus in class. So it was really great to see the kiddos. Just a lot of great moments today. And it was kind of comical when a student would turn to go to their class, then realize they were going contraflow, and had to turn and go all the way around the quad in the other direction. It was fun today, but we had a good time. The academy went pretty well. Current enrollment is up to 107 students, and it's actually fairly well balanced, anywhere from 5 to 13, but average is 7, and most grade levels from K-12. There's 7 or 8 students. We had 5 in the 5th grade, 13 in the 4th. Those are the highs and the lows. But it's pretty well balanced between the elementary and the secondary grades. There was a little bit of movement in the elementary level. A few families said, well, I think we're going to move our child back on site, and that was fine. But then we also gained a few more today. And so families are still choosing that option because it makes them feel comfortable, or they want that freedom. So it's worked out pretty well. Good learning experiences of my day was a 20-minute conversation with the parents of a kindergartner, and just listening to talk about handwriting and letter formation, colors, days of the week, what their child was going through. And so it was really good for me, having come from the elementary originally, to be refreshed on that and just to listen and hear what they're going through too. So that was good. Edgenuity, we had a couple challenges with logins, but I think by and large we were able to solve all of those. Pretty simple. Didn't have anything major. We took care of most of those yesterday with just a few quirks in our system more than anything. Edgenuity, the system itself, has been working great for us and has been accurate with all the login information we've put in when we've tried. Let's see here, the Chromebook posed a few challenges and for some families with the email sign-in, but again, by and large, Sam Farr was taking phone calls today. I was taking phone calls. I know Brandy helped a few families as well, and like Mr. Stratton mentioned, Chalice Young was on campus, and she called some families and reminded them to pick up any remaining Chromebooks or workbooks that they needed. So Sam Farr, has been appointed as a TOSA, teacher on special assignment, to help out the academy. And she has been doing a great job. She'll be helping with specialized instruction, attendance, grades, supporting the families. She's worked diligently on the website. So if you haven't checked out the website, it's linked from the district website, and it looks pretty sharp. We've tried the Google Sites, which is different from the platform that Mr. Reese, for example, builds the rest of the campuses from. but this was something that we learned in our Google training too. And so using Google Sites was also something we did in the Avid training this summer, and it's pretty handy. And so now Sam and I can work with the Lakeview Academy website on our own and change announcements in the minutes. And I hope that really becomes a good resource for the families. We checked out about 80 Chromebooks. We'll probably need to check out a few more. We had just one that was returned for technical difficulty, and the majority of our Academy students were already online yesterday. We started enrolling them last week officially into the Edgenuity system, and so after our parent meeting Monday night, a lot of them got on. There was an orientation video, and most of them were already online yesterday. And speaking with several families today, I logged in as their child and saw the progress that they were making. I talked to Sam and asked her for some input too, and she just felt like things were going really smoothly and was really grateful for all the teamwork. So I'd like to thank the team too. Bonnie and Carly and Susan at the elementary. Bonnie and Carly have taken phone calls right from the beginning weeks ago about enrollment. And then on our campus, Deanna and Brandy, Tara, Sam Farr, Lane, Lonnie, and Mr. Carter at the district office. I mean, we've all worked together, and it's taken this huge group to get this off the ground. So my learning curve has been really steep. This is very new to me, as it is for a lot of us. But I think putting this together and getting it up and running today, and with the types of problems that we had today, I think that's pretty good for a month's work. So I was just really thankful that we have such a great team. In terms of athletics, currently we'll have a 7-on-7 football team with mixed high school grades playing in the Klamath Pop Warner League. But they will be able to play a home game here next month, and we'll have some Klamath teams come over. So that's a club team, and that's in the Pop Warner League, but it is at the high school level, which is new. But that will permit those Klamath schools to play, and so we're joining that as well. Softball does have a few games already scheduled here for this season 1. Now they will still, all these teams will have their official seasons later in the year, but this is kind of an open season, and so we've been able to schedule a couple teams of schools that are open, and then we have a couple volleyball matches on the docket as well with some dates pending, and then officially on this coming Monday, our reserved 3-week practice block for the spring teams will begin. So that's all I got, other than air quality's been pretty bad, so teams have been working out in the gym, running in the gym and things like that. But things are going smooth, so thank you. Any questions?
I just had one. I think you might have mentioned that there was a link to help parents through the Lakeview Academy. Is there like a how-to video? All I saw that kind of came through were some parents, for whatever reason, life, work, kids, couldn't make it to that Monday night meeting. And so there were some that were kind of confused for the weekly schedule and how it works. We have a link that just has like a recording of maybe what you discussed on Monday.
I haven't made a video myself of what we discussed on Monday. I have run through that with a couple of families that came into the building, and then several are on the phone as well. And so I've kind of gone through each and explained the important pieces. And then I did on the website, for example, some of those important pieces from the meeting were the meals that we're able to provide. So Lane had mentioned 7 or 8 Academy students that came by the high school, and so that's on their pictures. The Edgenuity link to log into Edgenuity is there right up top, so it's easy to find. So with any family that logs in, the parents to their parent email accounts will get that link to the orientation video, and so they'll have an orientation video to watch. And then Sam and I at the parent meeting logged in as students and parents and kind of showed them what that looks like. In retrospect, it was kind of difficult because that was the first time they'd seen it. But in the future too, we'll be able to tailor that parent night a little bit better and know more what to explain and what to talk about.
It wasn't an overpouring of lost folks, but there were a few just kind of like, how does the work week go online? Is there a schedule? What are we doing? So I think a lot of people directed them to call in. So hopefully that works. But I was just wondering if there was a link posted to say, you know, things you may have missed on Monday in case you weren't there or something like that. Because that
Good
was
idea. I will do that. I can do that and add the rest of our agenda points.
just a snapshot. Because folks, you know, for whatever reason it was, oh, I couldn't make it, my husband wasn't home, or oh, I had to work, or, you know, just little life stuff. So that's all I saw that came across, but very minor. Okay. Number 4, special education report. So, Lonnie, you're on.
Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
I want to visit about extended school year a little bit. So our summer school for extended school year that was approved this spring, there was a real concern about virtual. A lot of the parents weren't real comfortable with virtual, but it ended up that, you know, our teacher was able to, you know, do a great job and show them how it was going to work. And so we did have 6 students who attended virtually. And it went really well. The Seesaw application was used for a lot of the students, which was at like grade level, and then it had academics. And the teacher worked through that and did some of her training on her own so that she was able to provide a good extended school year. When asked what changes she would look at, she said that maybe not starting at July 17th, maybe a little bit earlier, so the summer school kids had that break before school started for them. And then just that she's gotten more comfortable with virtual, so I think with Lane and Susan having Google trainings, that's going to help the staff if we would need to do another virtual summer school, to have that more training so that they would feel more comfortable with that. Overall, parents just really appreciated it. I heard lots of great comments from the parents and from the teachers, so I feel that our extended school year was a success for our students. So building principals talked a lot about the first day, and I would just like to thank them because they made it really, really well for our special ed teachers and for our students, and they did a great job, and they made sure that they included all the different special needs that our students needed. And so kudos to them for a wonderful job, and I think they had a great day. I talked to teachers and parents this afternoon, and things went really well for them. Special ed department, we're just looking ahead to what's next and what we need to be doing for training or for individual educational plans, and so that's kind of where we're at. Do you have any questions? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lonnie. Financial report.
Thanks, Annie. So I don't have my graphs this evening. I've had a little bit of a problem, 1 with iVisions and then 2 with my Forecast 5 that I didn't get fixed this week. So hopefully for our August report in October, I'll have it lined out again. So really briefly, July is usually a pretty slow month for us, expense-wise and as far as revenue is concerned. However, a couple highlights is your state school fund is a double payment, so we received about $960,000, and the reason why it's that double payment is because in June you don't get a payment, and so that starts our year off. And then also we received this common school fund, which was $26,400, and then I had quite a few accounts receivable that came in. One is our tuition contract with MODOC, Adel, and Plush. We received about $102,000, and then we had a Section 125 forfeiture of about $41,000 that I did not get it pulled in at June 30th like I should have, and it came 2 days later. So we did get that. So those are both ARs, accounts receivable that came in. Taxes, we received a total of $20,000 as far as revenue was concerned. So our total revenue was $1,152,000. As far as expenditures, a pretty light month, $265,800. $224,000 of that is salaries and benefits, and then the rest is, of course, consumable supplies and travel, which was only about $41,700. Pretty slow month for us for the month of July compared to normal. August was also a very slow month for us, I can tell you that right now. just because we never really started ordering anything till the end of August, so we're not gonna see those bills till September, so we're gonna look a little funky. Compared to normal. Normally our August is huge, for expenditures because we're ordering everything. So of course, great unknown. Now we're not finished auditing yet. We're kind of doing that virtually this year, so it's a little bit slower process. So I have an unaudited beginning fund balance of $1,130,000, which I think we discussed that in the last meeting. There was quite a few accounts receivable that, excuse me, that was outstanding, and then so that creates our ending fund balance at July 31st right at $2,016,000. So it's not a lot to report, and again, I apologize for not having my graphs and all the pretties that go with it this evening. Hopefully October will treat me much better. Any questions?
So,
Thank you, Janet. Well, I guess you're up next, though, aren't you?
are you okay?
Let's see. Acceptance of contracts with MJUSD for out-of-state tuition students.
Okay, so this is a standard, we do this annually. So this is our students attending MODOC, so typically it's a state line school is where they're attending. They live in New Pine Creek. Mostly it's the younger grades that go down there to attend school. And so I believe we have 3 that are going down there. So the deal here is we will pay according to MODOC's 2018-19 audited financial statements expenditures. So they have $63.24 per student per day that they will charge us for those 3 students throughout the school year. So this is one of those things that is we've done in the past. We do this annually and adjust it according to audited financial statements every year.
Are they in person at State Line? What are they doing?
State line, yes, MODOC is in person. Yeah, MODOC is in person. Yep. So far.
Really?
Any questions on that? Otherwise,
No, I think we just need a motion.
I move to approve the contract with the MJUSD for out-of-state tuition students as presented.
Second.
I have a second. Motion carries. Oh, sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Sorry about that one. Administrative assistant compensation.
Yeah, so I have, we want to keep Candlin. I've increased her workload substantially, so I provided the board there, and Darwin, Mr. Johnson, Director Johnson, I did send you a picture of that because we had it here. So I think you have that now. I just had down that, so what I'm looking at, Talon has a BS degree, which is unusual for someone in her position, so, we want to keep her, and you can see we've increased her workload substantially. The administrators gave me a foot brake to tell me to slow down a bit, so I'm trying to slow down a bit, but this is one of those things that, I'm trying to I'm getting our team in place and we're moving forward, so I'm asking that we increase her salary to represent what she truly does. So I have that there, so I'm asking for a $5,000 increase.
I move to approve the administrative assistant compensation as presented.
Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tandy.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. It is here for our viewing pleasure, and all we need is a motion.
I move to
I move
approve.
to,
Go ahead, Darwin.
okay, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Announcement.
announcements. Public health announcement, you have that one, so they made a proclamation saying that they supported our plan, so we're in good shape, and I've worked really hard with Jill and Judy, and they're great. And we have a nurse we're gonna be, hiring, so next month you'll see a MOU for a position for a nurse, and also we'll have a new person there. So she's really qualified. We got very fortunate to get a really great nurse, Lexi
Thomas.
Lexi Thomas, and she's a cardiologist, cardiac nurse support rehab. So she's outstanding. She'll be working 0.7. So what's going to happen then? That's going to be what you're going to see there. The public health announcement is a partnership we have. So Jill will still be our nurse for the school. She'll supervise that, but then Lexi will go like 3 days 1 week, and Jill 2, and then Jill will come 3 and then 2. So that way we have a nurse on campus for our school district, 5 days a week. So we're pretty excited about that one. So that's the public health announcement. They've really been a great partner. I can't say enough about those two. In fact, they called me, and it's just great. I mean, I feel like I could call them for anything. So I appreciate their work there, and that's one of the reasons our plan was able to go forward, because of their support and partnership.
So sort of on that public health side of things, where are we at on the timing of getting those fancy thermometers put in?
They should have been here, but the fire stopped them from getting here.
Is that okay?
That's
I
the
knew
only-
that they had been delayed. but I
Yeah,
didn't
that
know
was
what
it. That was the problem. They should have been here last week, and then we've been on the phone everywhere, and they said they're here, and they first said they were here, and they're not here. They never made it from the truck. So
Okay.
right now they're in the fire. So once we get them, find out which
Figure
dock
out where
they're
they're
on. I even told them I go pick them up if I have to. So as soon as I get them, I'll put them in. That's why I had to do the announcement last night. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. That's why I did the announcement last night, asking parents to do temperatures.
Well, I heard that on the bus deal, and I wondered what was.
Yeah, that was it. But right now, though, even as Mr. Rose mentioned and Mr. Stratton mentioned, they have that one direction, same thing in elementary,
Right.
and that's working real well. It is a pain for some of those students who have a science and they have to go all the way around the building, but it's good help for them in 3 minutes.
How do we do on our 3 minutes?
It was rough today, but it would have been rough if it was 5 minutes with the kids. Remember where their classes are and stuff like that. So we'll monitor the 3 minutes for another couple days, and if we got to make an adjustment, we'll make it.
Well, mine has problems at 5 minutes, so.
I was gonna say he's the last one out of the locker room for 2 years, so I know.
I guarantee it is gonna be a problem, but it doesn't matter if it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes.
So the board have any questions about that announcement?
No.
Okay, great, thank you.
No, I think it's very exciting to have the school nurse on site.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. The next board meeting agenda item.
We have the updated job descriptions. I'll have that, and then I have new hires. You have to get there, and of course the MOU with the classified union for the nurses position, because the nurse will be part of that classified organization, that negotiation group.
Do you mean certified?
I said certified. What did I say? Classified? I apologize. Certified. Thank you.
So
Getting
she's
hungry.
making the big bucks.
She's making the big bucks, yes, ma'am. Well, she's taking a pay cut, but don't tell her that. She's got kids, so I think it's going to be a really good partnership, and she understands that part. Is there anything else the board would like to have added to next month? Any special reports you might want or anything? I know we do have to appoint a new board member, so we'll have that next month for you. I think we're going to have 2 to 3 applicants. I know we have 2 now.
And policy updates.
And policy updates.
I'm not quite sure how to maneuver it, but normally every year we meet all the new staff and introduce ourselves, and they say hi. So I don't know how we would. I don't know if they want to log in and say hi, and we can welcome them and meet them, or.
Well, we might be able to work it out. Maybe on the mentor class. Maybe I can actually invite the board to come in. That'd be nice to meet some of them then, or we could do a special meeting, whichever one you guys prefer.
Gosh, I don't know.
It might be hard because some of them we have a split schedule now with high school and elementary, so that might be hard to get them all at one time. But we could get them online. So you let me know and I'll make it work.
Yeah, we usually cut them loose. We just have them at the very first part and kind of. Well, we used to do like food and meet and greet, but we could just have them for 5 or 10 minutes and introduce ourselves, and then we could
Yeah.
kind of news.
They would be
Yes.
great. Okay, that way you guys see them.
How about Mr. Carter?
Yeah.
Could we set up so that like in my building I have a table set up with a camera and we could shoot the camera around the room, and then maybe at the elementary have a table set up with a camera, shoot the camera around the room at the start of next week's board meeting.
Yeah.
So they could just do a real quick virtual hello and
Yes.
Did you hear that,
Where they're
Madam
all in
Chairman?
one spot.
Yeah.
Not-
Yeah, I'm open to any scenario. I just thought it's nice, it's
No, I
welcoming for us to introduce ourselves. It's nice to welcome them into the district.
I agree.
It's something we've done in the past, I don't
Okay,
know.
I'll
It was
take
just
care of
my
that.
6th year.
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Even if
We'll have it set up for you for the next board meeting.
Okay.
And also, Madam
Sounds great.
Chairman, one thing I want to mention, I know that Jeff, our attorney, is here with us, but we did get a notice that, and it turns out that the OEA did not mean to send it to Lakeview, but, that if that does emerge again, we'll put that as a future agenda item. But Mr. Henlon and I, myself, talked about it, and we feel that we're in good shape.
Right, and I think we would have already seen something regarding that if, with the first day of school, if you guys have heard something already, there's gonna be a problem, so we're hopeful that I think we're in good shape.
Hey, one thing, Mrs. Irwin, I may have mentioned this to a few of you that as the organizer of EBL, I'd like to work with Susan and other principals about trying to get EBL going this fall so that we don't have that conflict come January, February, March kind of thing. So obviously we need to see how this first month goes with school, but if maybe the board wants to decide on if that's a good idea on our next agenda, maybe that's something we could add to the agenda. Obviously it's a club thing, we only charge $25 a kid. We usually have 5 to 7 teams locally from that 4th to 6th grade age, and then a Paisley team. And and usually we've been out at Union. Last year was awesome to have this final week on the high school gym. I really appreciate that. I think we had a lot more people in the stands for those games. But it's definitely something I'd like to again get out of the way this fall. As long as everybody's healthy, we got good protocols and just safety things in place. So, any thoughts on that? What do you guys think I should do, if we want to just hold off on that?
We could,
Just felt like we should hold off until we see how
the
our
numbers,
in-person goes,
Yeah.
but that's just me.
Well, I think we need to deal with the next few weeks, but I
Yeah.
think I don't think we need to wait too long. Get through the next few weeks, see if we have a train wreck.
got it?
Because the nice thing is if we could get that EVL done, that would free up the nonstop fight for gym
For gym
space
space,
when we get into winter and we hopefully are back to somewhat normal winter sports. And as soon as winter is in its short mode, we're going to roll into fall sports. And, football practice is probably going to have to be in a gym somewhere.
Yep.
So, I think that would make sense. But we got to make sure that we survive the next few weeks first.
I'd like to add to that because it's an elementary thing. Just keep in mind that because of our physical distancing and our spacing capacities in our classrooms, Mr. Stratton is using his gym as a lunchroom, and I'm using Union Gym as a music classroom. So those are just logistical things that for you to know about because it's not something.
You're talking about after school though, right, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, it is usually from about, practices usually were pretty early, but games were like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then Saturdays and Paisley. But yeah, that's why I'm wondering if maybe we could even move the games onto the high school courts a little, just one of the options. I want to talk about them, just wonder if we want to, kind of offline for the next month to kind of think about some options, but then maybe make it a board decision instead of
So why don't we do a couple things then, a suggestion to the board. Why don't we look at the EVL, and what we do is first of all look at our matrix, see what our numbers come out. Also look at our liability, make sure that's good, and you guys got your own liability, and we will go from there, and we can put it as an agenda item, and if everything works out like we hope so, then we can take action at the next meeting.
Exactly, yeah, because I'm thinking November, December, and shorten up the season and just get it done quickly before January hits. Sure.
And that way work with athletic director.
Fall, our winter practice, do we have to wait till January at this point? Or is it there in December that you can start practicing?
We can be practicing right now.
Right now.
We've scheduled it as a district. We agreed to schedule certain sports during a certain time. So right now, technically, spring sports are supposed to be practicing, and then fall sports are going to practice, and then winter sports are going to practice, and then roll right into that season 2.
So, if the board lets us, we'll come up with something. I'll work with Mr. Stratton and Mr. Rose and with Susan, and we'll come up with something. If it's able to happen and our numbers work out, we'll bring something back.
Great.
Okay? No promises, but we'll do our best. Because our number one concern, as you know, is keeping school going.
Oh, absolutely. I just thought if our numbers are good, it'd be nice to get that out of the way, but also give kids something to do, so.
No, that makes sense. Kid-centered, I think it's a good thing.
I think we're at the last one here.
I move we
I move
adjourn
that
the
we adjourn the
meeting,
meeting.
You guys are quick.
so we can both second too. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.